It was advantage Max Verstappen and Red Bull as they conquered Monaco, the jewel in F1's crown, while main rivals Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton had a rare weekend to forget. We've picked our 6 winners and 5 losers from Sunday's race. Winner, Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen arrived in Monaco needing to end his run of never having stood on the podium in the Principality as his title fight with Lewis Hamilton hots up, and as Mercedes endured an unusual off-weekend, the Dutchman swooped to take full advantage. There's a good chance Verstappen would have been on pole had Charles Leclerc not crashed and brought out the red flag in qualifying, but he ended up leading the field away anyway when the Ferrari driver failed to start his home Grand Prix. From there he controlled the race majestically to take victory with his winning average speed of 157.833 km/h, the fastest in Monaco GP history, beating the record Fernando Alonso had held since 2007. The win moves Verstappen into the championship lead for the first time in his career, 4 points clear of Hamilton. He is the 64th driver to lead the F1 World Championship and now very much in the fight for the 2021 title. Loser, Charles Leclerc. Leclerc suffered a roller coaster of emotions through his home Grand Prix weekend, firstly crashing in qualifying after taking provisional pole, then being told his gearbox was unscathed so he could start from P1, only to retire before the Grand Prix had even begun. He became the first pole-sitter to fail to start a Grand Prix due to mechanical failure since Michael Schumacher with Ferrari in the 1996 French race at Magny-Cours. The DNS continues his run of bad luck at his home race, where he has failed to see the checkered flag in either of his 2 previous F1 appearances on his doorstep. Winners, Red Bull. Red Bull have left a fair few points on the table this season, but they capitalized on Mercedes' poor form in Monaco in impressive style, to deliver a 30-point swing in the Constructors' Championship that puts them top of the pile. It's the first time in the hybrid turbo era, which began in 2014, that the 4-time world champions have led either championship, while their engine supplier Honda have not led a championship since Ayrton Senna and McLaren won both titles in 1991. There's a long way to go, of course, but their 4th race out of 5 with both cars inside the top 5, a run which has included 2 wins and 3 podiums through Verstappen, is putting them right in the fight. Loser, Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton rarely has bad weekends, but this was most certainly one of them. This is only the 2nd time he has finished outside the top 6 since the beginning of the 2020 season. And it was only the 8th time since the start of 2019 that he hasn't made it onto the podium, such has been his consistency. His 7th place, plus fastest lap, was not enough to stop Verstappen snatching the World Championship lead by 4 points, and the lack of form left him feeling very frustrated at a racetrack that is just meters from his home. Winner, Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz felt a win was possible as he finished 2nd in each of the 3 practice sessions. But a small mistake on his first timed run in Q3 proved crucial, and denied him pole. From 4th on the grid, he was able to stay close to eventual winner Verstappen, having inherited 2 places courtesy of teammate Leclerc's absence and Valtteri Bottas' retirement. 2nd was his 3rd career podium, and his 1st for Ferrari in only his 5th start, giving the prancing horse a 4th consecutive top 2 finish in Monaco. He also maintains his 100% record of scoring in the Principality, on what was his 6th start. The hefty points haul moves him to 7th in the standings, just 2 behind Leclerc. Losers, Mercedes. Mercedes failed to make the podium for the first time since last year's Sakir Grand Prix, as the W12 was unable to get its tires to work in the cooler conditions around the streets of Monte Carlo. Their minuscule haul of 6 points saw them relinquish control in both Drivers' and Constructors' Championship, the latter albeit only by a single point, as they saw a near-nailed-on 2nd place disappear when a mechanic couldn't get the front right wheel off during Bottas' pit stop. That was Bottas' 2nd DNF in 4 races. In contrast, Hamilton has had no retirements in his last 54 starts. But perhaps their greatest concern will be Hamilton's frustration throughout the Monaco weekend and their lack of answers for their unusually weak form. Winner, Sebastian Vettel. The fans and F1 Motorsport boss Ross Brawn selected Sebastian Vettel as their driver of the day, as we caught a glimpse of what we had previously come to expect from the four-time world champion in Monaco. It's been a pretty miserable start to life at Aston Martin for the German, but fifth on Sunday was not only his first points of the year but also only his second top-5 finish since the start of 2020. 10 points moves Vettel above Aston Martin teammate Lance Stroll in the standings, while fifth is also Aston Martin's best result in their short history. Loser, Yuki Tsunoda. Ever since he scored points on his debut, Yuki Tsunoda has struggled to replicate such form, as he gets to grips with life in F1, and on a track that demands confidence. Monaco was another chastening weekend. While his AlphaTauri teammate Pierre Gasly scored a fourth consecutive points finish of the year, to ensure the squad had a top-7 Monaco finish for the fourth year in a row, Tsunoda ended up a lap down behind not one but two Williams, who themselves suffered a drop in form given the number of low-speed turns. Winners, McLaren. McLaren weren't expecting much from the Monaco weekend, but in the hands of Lando Norris at least, the MCL 35M, running a one-off Gulf Oil livery, was in its element. Norris ended up just a couple of tenths of a second off pole on Saturday and then fought his way to a second podium in 4 races, and third of his career, with a P3 finish that popped him back into third in the drivers' standings, 9 points clear of Bottas, who suffered his second retirement of the season, while McLaren held on to third in the constructors' standings, 2 points ahead of the Scuderia. It was also McLaren's first podium in Monaco since Jenson Button took third a decade ago in 2011. Loser, Daniel Ricciardo. Despite the fact he isn't yet comfortable with his new McLaren, Daniel Ricciardo still managed to score points in each of the opening 4 races. But that run came to a shuddering halt in Monaco as he was all at sea in qualifying, and then was unable to make much progress in the race, even suffering the ignominy of being lapped by teammate Norris. This season is only 5 races old, but trailing Norris, 10 years his junior, by 32 points already will not be what he had in mind after leaving Renault for Woking at the end of 2020. Winners, Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo had finished 11th or 12th 4 times in the first 4 races, so they knew points were not far away, and in Monaco, Antonio Giovinazzi finally got some on the board with 10th. This was a thoroughly deserved result, the Italian putting the Swiss team into Q3 for the first time in 2021 and then converting that top 10 start into a point. The last time the Hinwil squad got a point in Monaco was back in 2015. In a tight fight for 8th, every point will be crucial between them, Williams and Haas this year.